Welcome back. Today we'll be going through some fundamental functions in Excel that are really useful in the workplace. Index and match. We have here a list of simplified medication delivery schedules with the customer name, item the ordered, quantity the ordered, order date, date of delivery, planned delivery time, and actual delivery time. Likewise, assume that this list is extremely long and that I have taken the first 8 rows out for simplicity's sake. The problem we need to solve today is, if we know the customer name, how do we figure out what item he or she has ordered and in what quantity? So normally we could just use a Ctrl F to look for the person's name and go to the relevant item. If we just want to know what the item is, that could work. But in some cases, you want an Excel sheet to auto-populate or auto-fill some cells based on the value of another cell. Some of you familiar with VLOOKUP might say that this can be done with VLOOKUP, and you're right. There's also other functions like dget that can work as well. But I personally like the index and match function, as it gives you the flexibility to look for data on the left of what you're searching for as well. And it's more useful when it comes to complex functions in the future, when we involve stuffs like arrays. So we first need to understand the two functions, index and match. Index basically looks for a value within a table based on the location that we give it, meaning the relative row number and column number. So naturally, this function will take in 3 arguments. The array, or basically just the table we are going to obtain our required value from, a number for what relative row the value is in, and a number for what relative column the value is in. So in this simplified example over here, we have alphabets at the top and numbers to the side. The first argument will just be to highlight the values without the headers. So for example, highlight the table where we're going to obtain our values from. The second argument calls for the row number to be selected. So if you're looking for A1, we would need to give it the first row, which is 1. And then we need the third argument, which is a column number. And since A1 is in the first column, we'll input 1 as well. And then we'll close our bracket and hit enter. And we'll get whatever is in the first row and first column, which is A1. Okay, so now that we have a function that can give us a value based on a certain location, we just need to figure out what the location is, and we can use the match function for this. So what I mean is, if you're looking for the alphabet A among these 3 cells, I want to know what position it is. So if it's at position 1, position 2, or position 3. So the match function requires 3 arguments. What you're looking for, in this case, we're going to look for A. Within these 3 cells, where it's looking for. And the match type, most cases we will just use 0, which is an exact match. We want it to find exactly what we're putting in here. Certain cases would require less than or greater than when we're looking at numbers. So for example, if we're looking for the number 5 in a set of 1, 2, 8, 9, there's no number 5 in there, but whether we want to find the closest number that's less than 5 or more than 5. So in this case, we want an exact match, so we put 0 here. And it tells us that A is in position 1. If I change this to B, then you change to position 2. Okay. And likewise, we'll do the same for the row over here. So if we want to look for the number 1 within these 3 cells, and we want an exact match here, then it returns position 1. So now that we know how to find the respective positions, we can put it into the index function. So previously we did this. We've put an index function. We told it the area that it's looking for, and because we know that the number 1 is in the first position and the alphabet A is in the first position, we substitute 1 and 1 like so, to give the value A1. But if a table is really huge and you don't know which position a certain column header or row header is, then the match function would be very useful. So to substitute the first row number with match of, we have the match 1 to lookup array, meaning the entire set of row headers, and we want a 0 exact match. Okay, then we substitute the second one with the column position that we want. So we use another match function over here to look for A within the entire column header, and we want an exact match. Remember to close the bracket, hit enter, and there we have the same answer, A1. So to see it working out, you can go to formulas, evaluate formula, evaluate I17. So you'll first try to figure out this match function. So I17 is 1, matching with C17 to C19, position 1, and likewise A in between that set is at position 1 as well, and you get A1 using the index function. Okay, so if we want to find out what item this particular customer has ordered, we can use the same concept. So I've put the function here, index your entire table, that's in blue, matching K3, which is the customer, and this N apostrophe star apostrophe just means that it can be whatever is found in K3 and some more. So for example, if I put D instead of Dylan, it will still come out with the item that Dylan ordered. Okay, I'll show you this example a bit later. Lookup array, so we are looking for Dylan among these customers, and it's an exact match. And then for here it's the same, we're looking for the item, the column item, in these range of as well, and then 0 because it's exact match. Okay, so what I mentioned earlier, if we put just dy, this would still work because we have this star over here. Without the star, it will just throw an error because it can't find dy within customers. Okay, and for quantity, it's the same concept. So we are able to drag the formula down because of all these dollar signs over here. If you are unfamiliar with dollar signs, it basically refers to absolute referencing, and you can have a look at the video in the description below for a recap on what absolute cell references and relative cell references are. Okay, so I can do this, and it will still work. So Elaine actually bought cetirizine in 10 quantity. In this lesson, we have learned about the index and match functions. In the next lesson, we will learn about defining tables and using names within our formulas.